one of the biggest Estonian unicorns.
And we started going from neighbors, asking bottles and empty cans, and just taking them to the store to recycling. When you actually want, you can find always a way.
We are here today with Martin Villig. And we are very lucky, I think, because you're one of the speakers and you are the co-founder of one of the biggest Estonian unicorn projects, Taxify. For those of you who don't know what Taxify is, it's a ride-sharing app, service, and you do have an app, right? And basically we wanted to maybe get some insights on how Ukrainian startups can grow from nothing to everything. So, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Being first time in Lviv, but Taxify is not yet operating here, but hopefully it will be in a few months. So currently just in Kiev. So
I just wanted to clarify, because I've heard this rumor that you got an idea for Taxify when you were in Kiev in 2012. Is that true?
Yes. So we came here for the Garage 48 hackathon as a mentor, and then people said that you can order a taxi via website from Uklon, and then we tried it. It worked, and then we went back home and started thinking of Taxify. So basically the initial idea from Kiev.
And you founded it with your brother Marcus. He's your younger brother.
Yes.
And I just wanted to maybe find out, how is your relationship business-wise and also family-wise? Do you sometimes feel like maybe a sort of rivalry between you?
Not too much rivalry. I think initially it was more maybe I was also like a mentor type of person with more experience. Before we started Taxify, I had 15 years experience from different startups and Skype and elsewhere. But now it has been basically that we have divided areas, what he's doing, what I am. He has product growth investors, and I have the finance, legal, HR offices the other side. So we work on our parts, and we don't collide too much. So I really like his ambition and visionary and energy. So I think he's probably the best founder we have in Europe today. So.
And I think maybe your parents are probably very proud of you, yeah?
Yeah, they are a little bit. We started as a family company, so they actually onboarded the Russian-speaking drivers. So because we both didn't speak so good Russian, so first year they were really hands-on, or actually onboarding drivers in Estonia. But of course, later we hired people, so now they are just fans looking how we are doing.
I see. And I just wanted to find out, maybe how are you liking Ukraine so far?
I like it quite much. So I haven't actually looked around Lviv yet, so plan to do it over the weekend. But I see that it's lots of people who are bright eyes, want to do something. So I think that sharing any kind of inspiration and then boosting the startup ecosystem, I think it's very, very useful. So because still many people work in outsourcing companies, they could start their hobby projects on the side, and then when it gets more successful, switch fully over. So I think it's the main question. How could transform the outsourcing industry into product industry and startups. So I think Estonia has done that switch. So I think it's share our experience and try to see how Ukraine could transform in that direction.
And if you could give maybe one big advice to anyone who wants to start a project but doesn't maybe have a foundation yet, or any employees, just has an idea, what should they do? What's the first thing they should do?
Okay, starting a project alone is quite complicated. Or of course, I think if you're a developer, then you have a good base to start, because you can build a prototype yourself. I think business skills are usually easier to learn than the tech skills, or that's at least what I see. But I would say in general, two persons would be the ideal match. So one is a business guy, the other is a developer. So you can build stuff really fast, try it out, talk to customers, iterate, and of course, get feedback and learn a lot. So I think this is maybe just do it initially, try it out, you get experience. Maybe you fail with the first project, you stand up again, find another one, try again. So I think it's trial and error. So just most important, and and it's so much valuable information out there. Whatever you have a challenge, just Google. So lots of American investors are sharing good podcasts, talks, blogs. So whatever topics you need, you can get it. And of course, talk a lot with local entrepreneurs as well, and also reach out to global ones. So you might feel that people are far away, but always take a chance. If you have specific question, you need help, whatever, contact me or many other entrepreneurs. And if it's specific and you show what you are doing, I think people are much more willing to help. So also I'll ask help from the others. So just be very positive, energetic, and then things will happen.
And you've mentioned that you have some favorite podcasts. Like, could you give us a couple of recommendations?
I follow lots of content from I Combinator or Andersen Horowitz and few others, but again, it depends really of the topic what you need. So I think if it's top global names, most of their content is good quality. So I follow also some Estonian, some US ones, but yeah, I wouldn't name specific one right away.
And you've also mentioned failure. So you believe that failure is not the end?
Yeah, of course not. So I think I sold my first company during second course in university and became a director of the listed company in Estonia. But in 2 years that company went bankrupt. So I think again it was just good experience, good learnings, and I think overall I have gone through 3 or 4 project failures or bankrupts. So it's, I think that you just need to learn and then try to stand up and continue going. So yeah, I think it's valuable.
And off camera you mentioned that you had a very fun first job. Can you just tell this story, please?
Yeah, I think it shows when we hire people, we actually prefer people who start very early on. So and I started probably when I was 7, visiting my aunt in Stockholm, and it was still 1985 Soviet times. We didn't have money. They had lots of goods on sale, and I was thinking how I can make some money. And we started going from neighbors, asking bottles and empty cans, and just taking them to the store to recycling. So that was the first way for me to make money and buy some stuff I needed. So I think it's good example that when you actually want, you can find always a way. So just be creative and think, maybe ask advice, brainstorm, and you always find the ways. And when we hire people, we actually value much more the enthusiasm, the energy, rather than the experience. So I think that's maybe one of things that has also helped Taxify to build a big company with a relatively young audience, and we don't have any, let's say, executives as the global companies have with high salaries and gray hair. Everyone is I think the average age is 27. So yeah, everyone has just learned a lot during the way, and we have people doing very different projects. So one guy came initially to onboard taxi companies, and then we needed to launch credit card payments. He had no clue. He learned it. He launched it. Then we found it's fraud, so he started solving fraud problems, and now he's leading all our African operations, basically half of our company. So in just 4 years, the guy has learned a lot. So if you want, you can do it all. So you just need lots of energy and power.
Yeah. And also a lot of people don't realize that CEOs and founders and all these people who perhaps and young entrepreneurs seem big shots. They actually are very simple, down-to-earth people with lots of fun hobbies. So what are your hobbies?
I like to go hiking or visit small islands. So I have a really small boat, so I can visit Estonian islands. And most people even don't know, but you can take, let's say, 40-minute trip out of Tallinn, and you're on a lonely island for a weekend, and you can camp, swim, read, just walk. I think I'm really lucky to live in Estonia with such a great nature. But I also like traveling and talking to young entrepreneurs, trying to understand the challenges and maybe give some tips what I would do. So I try to be quite open, but overall, as Taxify, we actually travel very little. We try to work from the office because we feel that that's the most efficient way. So if we travel a lot, your schedule is messy, you have time differences, and all the airports and things, it takes down efficiency. So we talk to people a lot via video calls, but we try to stay at home, sleep at least 8 hours, and be most productive. So I think that's maybe one of the differentiators from us as well to the other companies.
Yeah, and also you have a sort of DJ career, like a DJ Waldeck, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanted to ask, if, for example, you cannot afford 8 hours of sleep, if you have 3 hours, if you're working really hard on launching your project, what music recommendations do you have?
Good. I like jazz or house, so when I need to focus on work, then I put some jazz house music without vocals, so just to have a good beat, put you in the working rhythm. But overall, I still recommend that try to get 8 hours of sleep, because otherwise if you sleep too little, your productivity goes so much down that it's probably you're just not working as efficiently as possible. So Markus has the same rule, so that always 8 hours. So he has tried to sleep less, but the productivity goes so much down that you start making bad decisions and maybe overworking. And so you better take a bit time off, think, and you're probably doing better than just hassling all the time without thinking. So I think you should have some critical things in balance. And of course, you need to switch off and rest as well. So some sports is useful, and so don't go crazy with work. Have a decent balance.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.